That's the mouth. You got speakers. That's your hearing. You see where I'm going? Your hard drive. That's your memory. And they got long-term memory and short-term memory. Like the memory sticks in the computer. Like you want more memory. All that means is that you can hold more programs open. That's random access memory. That's short-term memory. Because when you turn the machine off, that memory does not hold. It goes away. The hard drive is a long-term memory. Storage. So, random access memory, aka RAM, that's short term. ROM, the operative memory. You got the HDD, hard disk drive. Now they got SSD, solid state drive. There's no moving parts in there. Does the same thing, holds the memory. Then you even have optical drives that could read disk, you know. So, like I said, we're the most sophisticated machine on the planet. Human being. Okay? People are going to get asked out as soon as they start. And people are laughing at the degree programs they now have online. Saying that ain't a real degree. You didn't go to college. Like you got that shit when you was in your house shoes and bathrobe. That's a good thing. Because it's the same curriculum. and like I said, it's nothing but memory. A memory test has nothing to do with intelligence. You get the same degree as the person that goes face to face to the school, wasting their gas money and car fare and stuff, and wearing their shoes and sneakers out. Some people just like to be in that environment because that's what they're conditioned and trained to do. You know, for the first 12 years in school. It's nothing but an indoctrination program. You could teach anybody anything. You could teach, especially a kid. You could teach a kid anything. It doesn't matter. You be teaching your kid that there's a Santa Claus, don't you? Then after a while, that shit falls by the wayside. Because then they realize it's a bunch of bullshit. So you can impose all kind of beliefs on a child. You can make a child a soldier, like how they do in some of these countries. They go in there, they kill up shit, and take the boys. And in some countries, they take the girls. Especially in those Asian countries, they'll take the girls, the little young girls, and make soldiers out of them. Matter of fact, there's a movie out now. There's a movie out right now with they took the make girl soldiers, just one that they show. And I don't know what they're doing to this little girl, but it looks like they're abusing her sexually and everything. But she's a little soldier, like they be doing in, like, you know, Somalia and these other places where they be having these, where they be dogging women out. Yeah, you did it. Just keep the women around just to fuck them, or they rape them and leave them. Savage. And that's with all races throughout history. They would save the men, keep the men, make soldiers out of them. And sometimes they would make soldiers out of their children, make slaves out of them. You know, put into some kind of use. You know, some of them tribes and armies just kill up everything, kill up everybody. But usually they would keep the women. They would even kill, sometimes they even kill all the animals, all the, livestock, and start all over, and just take that land, just decimate the land, and build their shit there. Push their culture there. And man, he's always gonna, even until today, he's always gonna destroy whatever's weaker than him. Some kind of way. Mentally, physically, emotionally. He's gonna destroy whatever. That's man. Then I listen to women these days, some of them, talk all this dumbass bullshit. Talking a bunch of dumb shit. You don't hear these bitches fighting over, why can't I work on the 80th floor of the skyscraper and rivet bolts, and sit up on an I-beam, 80 stories, 100 stories high. They ain't arguing about shit like that. That's how full of shit it is. They ain't trying to say, well, why can't I get a job in the coal mine? Or the copper mine or whatever. They ain't fighting for that type of shit. These hoes want to sit in the office. Is what they're talking about, basically. And of course, there's a few little dykes that want to try to prove something. But there's only a few of them. They know where they stand. It's just like men. Men know where they stand amongst one another. Any group of men. It's a pecking order. There's a pecking order amongst any group of men. Even a weak man, you fuck up a strong woman. Doesn't matter. That's why I have weight classes in boxing and MMA and wrestling and shit like that. Because it gives the next man an unfair advantage if he's bigger. And they could say, yeah, well, the little guy's quicker and the little guy's faster. That's true. But most of the time, that shit's not going to work against a motherfucker that's twice your size. That ain't going to work. If you're 120 pounds, man, 5 feet tall, I don't care what you know. Usually, a motherfucker that's twice that size, say 240, you probably get hit him with everything you got. You really ain't doing anything to him. And once he grabs you, or corners you, or hits you, or kicks you, you're fucked up. If you're that small. It's like me, this time I weigh about 230, 225. Right? Now, if I got into it with a 460 pound, 450 pound man, you understand? There's a big ass difference there. Depends on how everything goes down. But if the man is twice my size, come on, man. And let's just say he's like 7 feet tall. That means he's like a foot taller than me. and gotten twice my weight, and let's say he's in good shape, okay? Now what? Let's say he's a bodybuilder or a weightlifter or a strongman kind of person, you see? And I'm an office working guy. I'm a couch potato. That man's gonna kill me with his bare hands. And like I said before, but what separates us from the animals is tools. Because without tools to build shelter and to shoot and kill and stab and poke and whatever, we wouldn't be able to fuck with the animals. They would just eat us for a meal, you know. Not for sport, but for a meal. Or they would attack just for defense. That's why when these hunters and shit get caught up sometimes, it's just too bad. You are hunting a deer, you got a mountain lion following you. You ain't even gonna know that he's following you. That's how nature made that animal. And that animal is gonna be big. Like a tiger. Tiger weigh like 600 pounds. It's gonna be like 10 feet long or some shit. And what are you gonna do when even if you're a 250 pound man, or if you're a 450 pound man? What are you gonna do against the tiger that's hungry? They're not gonna bother you unless they're hungry. So they're gonna be on a hunt, and they're gonna be desperate. You're fucking finished, man. That's how they could jump on those big animals and take them down. Because they're strong. Those animals be like 80% muscle. Okay? Where you got guys talking about, 10% body fat and all this dumbass shit. March you how much percent muscle you are. It's nowhere near. Just because a motherfucker's got 10% body fat doesn't make him 90% muscle. It's just some more of that bullshit, marketing and advertising, dumb shit again. Once again. Okay? Because animals is like 80% like those big cats and like dogs and cats. Yeah, dogs and cats are mostly about 80% muscle. That's why they could do what they could do. Because they have more muscle than a human. Good morning. They have more muscle than a human has. That's why they could run so fast and so strong. And if they were to jump on you like a big cat, like a tiger, you finished. You're like just a snack to him. It's like you jumping on a child. It's like you jumping on a little child. That's what it's like. It's like you attacking a toddler. That's like the difference it would. That's the difference. That's the difference it would be. It would be like you jumping on a toddler and you're an adult. And I don't care if you're 4'11" or 4'10" and weigh 90 pounds and you're an adult and you're jumping on a toddler. That's not fair. That's why that type of shit is illegal. Children need protection too. And that's what humans do. They always mess with something weaker than them. That's why they abuse kids and stuff. And then that's why men abuse women. Because they're weaker. Then you get some guys that they don't want to be classified as that or looked at that way. So then you get these bitches that abuse the men, and the men don't do shit, but just get disrespected and spat on and get their resources taken from them and get cheated on, and he ain't doing shit about it. When he should get up out of there, or get that bitch up out of there, or call the police on that hoe. Do whatever you gotta do. Get that bitch out of your life. You got a lot of women. It's like dykes. You know, they thinking they fucking guys. They know that shit's unnatural. That's why every time they're around, it's like usually the man one is ugly and funny shaped, and ain't no man really want them. Too tough. And they've been skeeted on and tried to be a regular girl or whatever. But then they see that they're on the bottom of the totem pole when it comes to other beautiful, shapely women. So then they try to turn dyke. It doesn't matter how they turn into whether it was a tomboy or not or whatever. It's all besides the point. And then usually it's just a vendetta against men. And they'd be like, yeah, I'm gonna turn this pretty chick out or whatever. So then when they walk around town with a fine bitch, you know, that's supposed to make men mad. That doesn't make men mad. That just makes the dyke insecure. Because that pretty bitch's nature, you know, with the shape and the pretty face, the lips, hips, and the pretty face and all that, and nice legs and all that, she knows that there's guys looking at her, and guys ain't gonna stop looking at her or saying shit to her. It doesn't matter if she's with a dyke or not. It don't matter. What's a dyke gonna do? Fight you over you looking at her friend? Because that's all it is a friendship. I can say something to your friend, bitch. And I guess the people that don't want that confrontation ain't gonna say anything. But the bitch is gonna be looking. The one that she so-called turned out. Or turned in, whatever you want to call it, turned inside out, or whatever you want to say. That bitch still wants dick when her nature rises. She wants some dick. She don't want this funny, ugly looking, out of shape, not even shaped like a woman, with a strap on, you know, going up on her with a counterfeit fucking cock. That's a bunch of bullshit. Anybody with a half a brain would know that. The bitch is playing with a fake fucking dick. Get the fuck out of here. That's a bunch of bullshit. Now I can see a chick laying back, heterosexual, playing with a dildo, a vibrator, or whatever, and saying, yeah, I can still get my rocks off without the headache or the emotional drama of a man. I can dig that. Same like a man can jerk off, you know. It's like, I could be thinking about the finest bitch in the world right now. Imagine. Use my imagination or my memory of some things, sexual things I have done with women and women have done to me. That doesn't mean I'm going to get hard. Just like now. I'm not excited. I just said something and thought about something. I'm not excited. That shit's all up to me. Usually when I'm bored, I might say, well, let me turn on some YouPorn or some X-Hamster or Pornhub. Those are the three. As long as you stay on the clips, you're okay. But once you start clicking around that page, you're gonna get a virus. So don't click on no ads. Skip all the ads. And don't click on none of that side shit. You know, those side banners. Don't click on no banners. Is what it's called, banner. Click on none of those. Stay on the movie. And yeah, they're using strap-ons for what? That's because the dyke don't have a dick. What, she got a strap on talking about, yeah, you're feeling that, huh? Is it good to you? You know, fuck out of here. That's just sick. That's some sick ass shit, is what that is. That's some mental shit. That's some mental patient shit. You sitting up there acting like you a man. So if that dyke bitch is doing that to her so-called girlfriend or her so-called wife or whatever, she know that there's a chance, a high chance of her bitch cheating on her. You understand? She knows this. So she always gonna be, that's why their relationships are so volatile. And there's more violence in those kind of relationships than heterosexual relationships. That's because of that insecurity. That's because of the insecurity that the dyke has. You know, I'm quite sure it could work the other way too, where the pretty one may say, I bet I never catch you cheating. Because it really doesn't matter, like a man or a woman. Women could retaliate the same way a man can retaliate on a cheater. I'm not trying to say that doesn't happen with lesbian couples. I'm not saying that doesn't happen. But when you start doing that, and it's unnatural, and if a chick's gonna be bisexual, it's another story too. Especially if she's bi, and you know she goes both ways, and you trying to lock her down just to be a straight lesbo. And you know when you picked her up, she told you that she was bi. You see? That's why none of that shit will ever work. Ever. And it's a choice. Because how can you flip-flop? That's because it's a choice. That's why. So all them other schools of thought is bullshit. It all boils down to a choice. The same way if I was carrying a gun. I was looking at this case the other day. It's a Florida case. And I didn't even know. I don't watch the news. The only news that I see, I may see headlines on MSN or Yahoo. And most of that should be sports. And then some major headlines or whatever. I may see that. And I may look at it or peek at it sometimes. But I've gave up the news. It's another control technique of the masses. It's the news. Because if it comes on the news, it has to be true. Right? The fuck out of here. I must be facetious. No, more than likely it's not true. It's half truths and lies. There's very little truth. If you didn't witness something, you're talking to the next person about it like you was there. You're pushing bullshit is what you're doing. And I said to myself, what do we have here? There was a lady, a black lady, parked in this, basically it was a unmarked, unconfirmed handicap spot. And there was a couple of spots like outside of this, they call it a Circle A, out here with these farmers and cowboys. They call it Circle K. It's like a 7-Eleven type of gas station thing or whatever. Or convenience store. I didn't see no gas. I just see it was like a 7-Eleven type of store. They have lots of them all over the country. And the lady was in there like with some toddlers and a baby or whatever, waiting in the spot. And like I said, it's not really a designated or marked spot. I would assume maybe it's old and maybe the markings are worn off the ground and the poles not there. That's supposed to be like, you know how that be when there's a handicap zone, handicap parking. I don't think it had the proper markings, okay, or something, but people parked there and waiting in the car for whoever to run in and come back out. So this white boy, I think he's Polish because he got a funny last name. Usually when you see a D and a J, that's a Polak. DJ something, AR something. When you see that DJ, that's Pole. It's a Pole. And he said he was harassing a woman. First he gets out of his car, and even he is parked in one of those ambiguous, that's the best way to explain it, an ambiguous handicap spot. He pulls up in an ambiguous handicap spot the same way she's parked in the ambiguous, same way that she's parked in the ambiguous handicap spot, and he harassing her. Asking her, like, you know, first he walks in front of the car, and then he walks in the back of the car, and he's looking around, looking for the placard or the plate or whatever. Then he starts harassing her, and her man and her baby's children's father, because the black dude had took the 5-year-old out of the car, and they went into the store, and she was in that spot. He put this all on camera. I'm talking about what I seen on camera. And he pulls in. Now they're already in the store. The 5-year-old and the father, they're in the store already. He pulls up, not alongside her, but at a 90-degree angle. And then there's these lines, you know, where it's definitely no parking, you see, because it's like a corner. And you got those lines, those slanted lines, like a grid. Well, a grid is more than that, just a slant parallel lines going across. You know there's no parking in there. And he pulled up the 45-degree, so on out one sector there, separated them. So he gets out and he starts walking around the car. And starts calling all kind of niggas and stuff. You know she gonna say, what you looking at? You know, mind your business. What are you talking about? Go on about your business or whatever. And he started calling all kind of niggas and stuff, whatever. And she said that he said, you know that you ain't supposed to be parking in a handicap, whatever and whatever. Oh, do you know you're parking in a handicap handicap spot? She said, yeah, I know. Why? Like what business is of yours? Go on with that bullshit or whatever. And they start calling all kind of niggas and stuff. And then the security cam showed people going in and out of the store. And people, like, everybody's looking, like, I guess a lady must be, woofing the guy. And the guy, the way he looked to me, looked like he was kind of like drunk. I just said he was on drugs or drunk. The way he's walking up on people. And, he was agitated, I would say, maybe. And one guy was standing in the doorway with the door open, looking that direction. And I guess the husband or the boyfriend heard all the noise or whatever. And might have heard this girl, hooting and hollering and shit. Because you're going to know it's girl's voice. That's back to the remembering thing with the hearing. He heard that. Possibly the babies could have been crying too. I don't know. He knows that people are looking in that direction. He's the only one parked over here. She is the only one parked over there because he's the guy at the car. So there's a dude standing in the doorway looking that direction. And I guess people that was coming in the store say, I don't know what's going on out there, yada, yada. And he probably just say, put one and one together and came out the store like walking hard. He didn't have his kid with him. He told his son to stay there. And he went out the store hard. And Holmes was like standing by the driver's side of their car. And he just went right out and he walked straight up to that dude and he pushed him. And the dude hit the ground. Pushed him down kind of hard. Of course, that's natural. That's his wife, his family, his babies. Pushed him down hard. And then when the dude, put his elbow on the ground, because he was down like flat on his face. So when they went to go get up, on his way up, he pulled out the gun. And there was another guy there. He ran. And then the black dude put his step back 1, 2, 3 steps in the dude. And then he turned to the side to get up out of there. And dude shot him. So it's a Florida case where it's basically self-defense. They call it a hold your ground, stand your ground law. Fuck out of here. It's just a self-defense. That was not self-defense. That was dude antagonizing the guy's wife and kids inside the car over a fucking parking spot when he should have just went in the store and mind his fucking business. He winds up killing somebody. That has shit to do with him. That has nothing to do with him. And I seen the hearing and all that and everything. It was something I think it was back in April of 18, I think. See, I don't watch the news. I don't hear that kind of shit. I got a friend in New York that I talk to sometime. And I ask him what's up. Or he might say, did you hear about... Well, I might have some weird shit and say, did you hear about... what's on the news. That's all gossip. It's entertainment. And, yeah, dude. Autopsy showed, he said that the dude was coming towards him. This is what he says. Dude was coming towards him. And they try to lie his way out of it. And maybe he just really didn't know what was going on. But I know after he seen that tape, he know that his goose was cooked after he seen the recording. Because you could see. Because he going to wait for Holmes to come up. He was waiting for that. Because usually if you do something like that, push somebody down, or if you're going to punch somebody in the face like that, or whatever. I mean, if you're going to punch somebody in the face, well, I'm saying like that. Well, he didn't punch the guy. I'm saying if you're going to punch somebody in the face or something like that, you got to be ready for repercussions. Is that guy going to pull out a knife? If He's gonna pull out a gun. That's why you gotta think before you do shit like that. But if somebody's threatening your family, you're gonna, or if it's someone you love, you're gonna risk your life. You're gonna put your life on the line. Usually that's instinctive. As long as you ain't been neutered. Neutered by your girl, you're gonna react violent. That's natural. That's survival. And you don't have to be no alpha male to react violently. You don't have to be the loudest motherfucker or the biggest or the toughest or the richest to be an alpha male. Plain and natural. And I say that if that white man then wasn't concealing, carrying a weapon, he ain't got shit to say to no niggas. He ain't saying shit to nothing black. He ain't saying shit to nothing black if he didn't have a fucking pistol and his holster on his waist. He ain't saying shit to nobody black. Nothing black. Okay? And that's why people like him shouldn't carry. Then they went into his life. You know, of course the lawyers, they're gonna lie. Prosecutors lie, lawyers lie. It's all a farce. It's all a game to take your money. People could manage themselves and manage their own communities and govern their own communities. Okay? Because they're humans too. They will just have to do it in a humane way. So that's what they want you to think they're doing. Homie supposed they had got a $300,000 to $500,000 bond. They gave him a $100,000 bond, and they still trying to. First, don't you know that the sheriff didn't even arrest this dude and got on the news and started talking about it was like a rifle shoot or some shit. Then the video came out, and he wasn't stepping forward. He was trying to get up out of there, actually. So he just as well should have shot the Holmes in his back. There's been time in cases like that went in favor of the white man when he done shot somebody in the back, meaning that the person was running. There's police shoots when they shoot people in the back that is running from them. Just because you can't catch them on foot, you're going to catch them with a bullet. Because you say freeze and the motherfucker just run. He's not no threat to you. He's running away from you. Like how a dog or a cat would run from you. And you're going to shoot him anyway. It's not right. So homie, he's all stoic. He know he's done from the replay. That shit don't hold no water. They going to leave out the part that said that he was drunk and stuff. They gave him time. He stayed at the scene. They know he was drunk or something was wrong with him. Come to find out, the motherfucker's a couple of days from being homeless. His wife works and takes care of the family. The nigga hasn't had a job since 2007. He's a fucking drug addict bum is what he is. Why don't you just call it what the fuck it is? He's a drug addict, bum, Polish white fuck. Rolling around town with a fucking gun. Somebody his father's a retired state trooper. And so on and so forth. Then they pull up all these reports and incidents that this asshole had, pulling his gun on people. Pulling his gun on people playing their music too loud or some shit. Pulling his gun on people. And then they say he was brake stopping on somebody. Meaning saying that they was driving too slow in the school zone. Tailgating people. Doing all kind of dumb shit. And the owner of the store, that store where he shot that man, oh yeah, that man ran back inside the store. Then they showed the inside video cam. His son was waiting for him, and he came in holding his fucking side or his chest. Holding his chest. Because the pain was internal. He was holding his chest. But the shit had went in his side. The shit went in his side and it got lodged in the, come on. Yeah, shit went in his side. And it didn't come out the other side, but it lodged in the side. It lodged in his side, the other side. So he didn't get shot like square in the chest. It came out the other side. I mean, it came stuck in the other side. Good morning, how you doing today? Okay. Yeah, it got lodged in the side, so they showed it was a bruise. So the autopsy report showed where the shit went, like in his side, like it's just under his underarm, just under his armpit, meaning he was facing the sideways. He was sideways, meaning he turned to go back into the get up out there and run back in the store. Or whatever he was getting ready to do. And when he went to turn, that's when Holmes shot him. So he basically took 3 steps back, couldn't go back any further because his car was there, and his wife and kids is just looking at all this shit from the car. And then, when the shot go off, niggas are gonna run all over the place like roaches with the light on, turn the light on. He ran in there and he died. Well, he didn't die, he died in the hospital. But I know that he probably died there. Well, maybe he could hold on to his vital energy. Just enough not to die in front of his son, I would say, I think. And then his son is like, they showed it. His son is like, he came in there, and he was like in the store. He made it up out of there. He ran up in there, got up in there, the store. He already was shot. Then he just like collapses like at his son's feet. And his son is like standing there, don't even know what the hell's going on. Yeah, and that sheriff had the nerve. When he came to the scene, he said the Holmes was there, the shooter was there. He didn't try to run anything. He ain't supposed to, motherfucker. And like he did something good. He ain't supposed to run, motherfucker. Even if you didn't have a firearm carry and you shot somebody, you're still supposed to stay there. What the fuck is he talking about? Like he did something right. He wasn't supposed to have that gun in the first place. Because he has a bad temper. And that's why they really should do for real criminal history checks. He didn't start acting stupid really until he actually got the permit, the conceal and carry permit. That's when they start thinking he was God. They start thinking that he was the police. And that's what some of these white boys do. They get a conceal and carry, and then they start thinking they cops. He told the guy in the precinct that when the homicide was investigating him, because the black cat was DOA, and they was investigating him, they was asking him shit like, would you have shot him if he was backing up? And he was like, of course not. He said, would you shot him if he was standing still? He was like, of course not. The guy advanced on me. He came forward, and they was like, how far forward did he come? You know, show us. And then the dude got on the floor, like up against this wall. And then the detective said, was he this close? Like standing like right over him. He was like, nah, he wasn't that close. A little if he was further back. And they said, was he this close? From this close? And then he ran out of space. The room, he was standing like more than 10 feet back. 10 feet or more. Because that dude, I think, is about 6'2" or 6'3", I think. The shooter. And the guy got shot was like 5'10". So it was a shorter guy. And he was trying to say, hey,